Whatever happened to the 2021 NFL quarterback draft class? Heading into this draft, there were 5 quarterbacks that had the potential to be top 10 NFL draft picks, and those players were Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, and Mac Jones. But today, let's find out what happened to all of them. Today, I'm going through all the quarterbacks in that draft. So with the 133rd overall pick, the New Orleans Saints selected Ian Book out of Notre Dame. Ian Book had a pretty solid college career, which ended up with him being drafted in the 4th round. But Ian Book's career really didn't go great. As you guys can see, he did have one start on Monday Night Football against the Miami Dolphins, which he went 12 for 20 with 135 yards and 2 interceptions. The Saints ended up losing that game pretty terribly and saw all they wanted of Ian Book, and he was eventually cut by them. Now he's currently with the Kansas City Chiefs, which he's hopeful of making that team, but honestly, I'm not too sure if he will. He most likely will be on a practice squad like he was earlier in his career with the Patriots and with the Eagles. Ian Book has really bounced around the league, and he's hopefully trying to get a backup job. But as you guys can see right here, he really has just bounced around the league way too much. He's with the Chiefs. Previously, he was with the Patriots, and before that, he was with the Eagles. But with the 67th overall pick, the Houston Texans selected Davis Mills out of Stanford, and he actually got off to a very promising NFL career being the starter in Houston. As you guys can see his stats right here, his 2021 season was not that bad in playing in only 13 games. He had 16 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. And his 2022 NFL season wasn't bad either, but he will not be the starter in Houston for any time soon because they drafted this beast of a quarterback, C.J. Stroud. I'm hopeful that Davis Mills will find a starting gig elsewhere. Because honestly, I think Davis Mills definitely has potential to be a starting quarterback. But with the 66 overall pick, the Minnesota Vikings selected Kellen Mond out of Texas A&M. And he had an excellent arm. He could scramble. And honestly, I thought Kellen Mond could have been great in the NFL. But with Minnesota, he didn't see the field, and I know you guys all remember that famous clip about Mike Zimmer saying that he did not want to start Kellen Mond. Kellen Mond really was terrible on the Vikings, and Mike Zimmer was right. He saw enough of him in practice and knew he wouldn't succeed. Kellen Mond was cut by the Vikings, and he tried to join the Cleveland Browns during the offseason, but didn't make that team. But then he joined the Colts practice squad and is now with the New Orleans Saints practice squad. I'm hopeful that Kellen Mond can hopefully make a team. With the 64th overall pick, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers selected Kyle Trask out of Florida, and Kyle Trask had an awesome college career, which made him a second-round draft pick. At this time, many thought Kyle Trask could be the future in Tampa Bay. I mean, they had Tom Brady, who just won the Super Bowl, and Kyle Trask could learn under Tom Brady. But Kyle Trask really never saw the field in Tampa Bay, and he's been a lifelong backup to Baker Mayfield and Tom Brady. But honestly, in the few plays that he has been in there, he has looked very poised, and I do think Kyle Trask could possibly compete for a starting gig somewhere, but probably not in Tampa Bay because they just locked up Baker Mayfield. And with the 15th overall pick, the New England Patriots selected Mac Jones out of Alabama. There are actual rumors that Mac Jones could end up being a top 3 NFL pick, and he was really rumored to be drafted by the 49ers, but fell all the way to 15. But in his first season with the Patriots, they went 10-7. That Patriots team was actually very, very good that year, and honestly, I think they could have won that division. Mac Jones had an excellent rookie year, and it was looking like Mac Jones would be the future of the Patriots franchise. Unfortunately, though, we all know what happened to Mac Jones, and it's one of the more sad stories, but in his first playoff game, the Bills ended up absolutely dominating the Patriots 47-17. But to be honest with you, Patriots fans were fine with this. I mean, they just made the playoffs with a rookie quarterback, and Mac Jones was now a Pro Bowler. Mac Jones had one of the most awesome Pro Bowl moments as well, grittying down the field. Mac Jones, I thought, was going to be an absolute playmaker, and after that season, he completely went downhill. The 2022 campaign was a lot worse than his 2021 campaign, even though he missed out on 3 games. The numbers were not there, and in 2023, he did terrible. And the final straw that broke the house was this game right here in Germany, where the Patriots lost 10-6, and Mac Jones had one of the worst interceptions ever. After that game, Mac Jones was traded to the Jacksonville Jaguars, And now he is probably going to be an NFL backup for a while behind Trevor Lawrence, but is definitely hopeful to signing with a new team after his deal is up and competing with a starting role. And with the 11th overall pick in the NFL draft, the Chicago Bears selected Justin Fields out of Ohio State, the scrambler with a big arm with pro potential. As you guys can see, though, Justin Fields really started off his career slow. He was more of a rushing quarterback, though. As you guys see in 2022, he had 1,100 rushing yards, which is absolutely insane. And many people thought he'd actually compete for an MVP in 2023, but he really did not play that well. And the Bears agreed to trade Justin Fields to the Steelers in exchange for a 6th-round draft pick. Justin Fields will now be competing with Russell Wilson for the starting quarterback gig in Pittsburgh, which honestly, I don't think he has much of a chance of winning, but I'm definitely hopeful of Justin Fields because I was a huge fan of him. And if he is around the right coaching, I really believe Justin Fields could definitely be special. And with the 3rd overall pick in the NFL draft, the 49ers selected Trey Lance out of San Francisco. The 49ers basically traded away their whole future to get Trey Lance, and it did not work. Trey Lance in the 49ers red and gold was a complete bust, and after a couple practices, Kyle Shanahan knew that Brock Purdy was the better quarterback. He did get into a couple games his rookie season, but really did not impress much. He wasn't really great on the ground either, and in 2022, he was just rattled with injuries, and it was really sad because he definitely had a lot of potential. As you guys can see, he had many injuries. If it wasn't for all these injuries, Trey Lance could definitely still be the starting quarterback for the 49ers, but in 2023, the 49ers ended up trading Trey Lance to the Dallas Cowboys for a 4th-round pick, where now Trey Lance is the backup to Dak Prescott in Dallas. And he's learning behind a great quarterback in Dak Prescott, and I'm hopeful that he will find a starting role one day in the NFL. But I don't know if it's looking too promising. But with the 2nd overall pick in the NFL draft, the Jets selected superstar quarterback, or so we thought, Zach Wilson out of BYU. Zach Wilson's pro day was an absolute excellent masterclass. The Jets fell for his pro day. Those throws that he was making as pro day were absolutely insane, though, but Zach Wilson in the NFL really was not great. As you guys can see, his rookie year, he only had 9 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. He was not great, and his 2nd season was worse, and in 2023, when he took over for Aaron Rodgers, it did not go well. I really feel bad for Zach Wilson, though, because he was supposed to learn under Aaron Rodgers, and it really did not go to plan. Aaron Rodgers ended up tearing his Achilles on one of the first plays of Monday Night Football, and Zach Wilson had to go into the game where he eventually won that game, but it was definitely not promising. Zach Wilson did not play good in that game, and I am not sure how they won that game. But with the 1st overall pick in the NFL draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars selected Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence was one of the most hyped up prospects ever in the NFL draft. You could argue he was the best prospect ever in the NFL draft. And selected out of Clemson, he had a great college career, and he has been playing well in the NFL as well. As you guys can see, he's gotten better almost every year. I mean, 2022 to 2023, it really wasn't that much better, but the wide receivers dropped so many balls on that team. Calvin Ridley and Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram really did not play up to how they should be playing. But I think next year, Trevor Lawrence could honestly be great. And they just signed him to a 5-year, $275 million extension. And I think Trevor Lawrence will end up being a top 7 quarterback in the NFL this season. So yeah, there were many quarterbacks selected in this 2021 NFL draft. But honestly, I think only one of them is really successful, and that is Trevor Lawrence. Most of the other first-round picks were traded and are now backups with Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, and Matt Jones, and many of the other round picks really haven't really amounted to anything. If you guys like this video, make sure you guys subscribe, like, and comment down below what you think. Thanks, guys.